Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from ZoZoStockWatch.com, and this is going to be your Let's Get Ready for the week ahead, February 25th through March 1st. So Friday we had the stocks finish higher on that 4-day holiday week that passed. On Friday, the Dow Jones was up 181 points, the S&P up 18, and the Nasdaq up 68 points for Friday on the hope of China and the U.S. Coming to an agreement in the trade negotiations. There was an agreement between the U.S. and China on currency, so that brought hope into the markets. As you can see here on the FinViz heat map, it was a pretty broad-based rally. The banks, though, were showing some weakness on Friday. We did have the major drug manufacturers, the Pfizer's, J&J, Merck, AbbVie, Lilly, all up on Friday. Disney was up. We did see some nice participation in the FANG names. Amazon was up, and Google, Facebook, all up. Microsoft was up. Apple climbing over 1% on Friday. Coca-Cola took a hit on Friday, down over 1% for Friday. Berkshire Hathaway was down on Friday due to KHC getting hit. We'll get more into that in a moment, and that's Kraft Heinz. So let's go ahead and look at some of the sectors and take a look at that. Surprisingly, for the week, TAN, the solar sector, was up over 8% for the week, followed by JNUG up over 7.5% for the week. KWEB, the China Internet ETF, was up 5% for the week. Steel sector was up close to 4% for the week. The FXI, the China 25 Index Fund, was up a little under 4% for the week. UNG Nat Gas was up 2% for the week. The marijuana ETF MJ was up a little over 2% for the week. Oil had a nice week, up 2%. Right here on light sweet crude oil, and USO was up. Light sweet crude oil ETF was up 2%. The regional financials were up 1.75%. The SMH was up 1.5% for the week. We had the micro caps, the IWC up 1.5%, and social, the ETF for social media, was up a little under 1.5%. IWM climbed this week, up 1.25% for the week. Robo, the automation index ETF, was up a little over 1% for the week. For the week, we lost steam in the VIX. The VIX was down 9% for the week as complacency is in the market right now. The bulls are romping, and so no volatility really in the VIX here, losing 9% for the week. The OIH was down 1.5%. That's the oil services sector. The IBB was negative on the week, down 1%. We also had the dollar down fractionally for the week, and we also had the real estate index down fractionally for the week. Some of the S&P sector performance, we had the metals and mining leading us up 4% for the week there. The XLU, the utilities were up a little under 2.5%. The XLB, the materials sector, was up just under 2.5% for the week. The XLK, the technology sector, was up 1.5% for the week. And home builders climbing again this week, up 1.33%, and the XHE, the healthcare equipment sector, was up a little over 1%. To the downside for the week, we had XOP was down for the week 1%. XBI, the biotech sector, down 1% for the week, and the XLE, the energy sector, was down about 0.5%. Now these were down even with oil being up, as I showed you moments ago. Here's your weekly sector performance as a visual. So you can see here the sectors that were green, the strength in utilities. Also the XLB, very strong for the week that passed. The XLF not doing too much this past week. As I showed you Friday, the banks were down. So that's a visual view of your weekly sector performance. This was some of the reasons why the market was up the past week. U.S. and China extend trade talks as Trump and Xi express optimism. So this is what was moving the markets. And I'm making this video on Sunday, and they are negotiating between China and U.S. Negotiations are taking place on Sunday as they loom closer to that March 1st deadline. So let's go ahead and look at some of the charts. We're looking at daily chart right now for the SPY. So as the market continues to gradually move up, it's riding the 5 EMA, the yellow dotted line you see here as we inch up closer to that 2800 level on the SPX, 280 on the SPY. So the market is grinding. This has been about 9 weeks straight in a row off of the 200 SMA on our weekly chart. We've been up 9 weeks in a row on the S&P. Let's go ahead and look at some other markets, and we'll go back to our daily chart. IWM. Looking very good, coming up to about the 200 SMA here on the IWM. The IWC, the micro cap, still below the 200 SMA as it grinds higher and also holds above the fast moving averages there. USO had a good week this week, but we're coming up to the 100 SMA on the USO. Let's go ahead and look at oil. The light sweet crude oil, we're currently at $57 a barrel and also coming up to that 100 SMA on light sweet crude oil. We'll go ahead and go through a couple of the sectors. The financial sector, the XLF, currently remains below the 200 SMA on the daily chart. We'll also look at the XLK. This is the technology sector. This is clearing the 200 SMA on the XLK. We also have the XLP, which is above the 200 SMA on the daily chart, the consumer staples sector. The XOP, the exploration, is holding above the 50 SMA, holding above the fast moving averages, but having a little bit of trouble here at around the heights of 3130 area on the XOP. If we go ahead and look at the retail sector, which a lot of earnings are coming out for retail stocks this week coming up. We'll get more into that in a moment. But as you can see, we've had this V bottom here, kind of this little cup and handle, holding above the fast moving averages, but remain below the 200 SMA on the retail ETF. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the earnings coming up for the week ahead. As you can see, this is courtesy of Earnings Whisper. We have Etsy coming out with earnings on Monday after the bell. Shake Shack coming out with earnings. Hertz, Mosaic, which is an ag name, coming out with earnings on Monday after the close. MOS, Home Depot, Macy's, AutoZone will be reporting Tuesday before the open. WW, which is Weight Watchers, WTW is the symbol, will be reporting Tuesday after the bell. Before the bell on Wednesday, we have Ameren, Lowe's, Best Buy, so TJX, TJ Maxx will be reporting, so retailers there reporting. We also have Wednesday after the bell, we have Square, Fitbit, Bookings, Teldoc, Billy B, which is a recent China IPO. Box will be reporting earnings after the bell on Wednesday. Before the bell, we have JD.com, JCPenney will be reporting. Splunk, Nutanix, and Workday in the software application sector will be reporting earnings. VMware and Autodesk all after the bell on Thursday. Friday, we get Foot Locker reporting earnings before the bell. For economic information coming out for the week ahead, courtesy of the Trade Exchange. We do have some Fed speak coming up on Tuesday as Jerome Powell goes before the House and Senate committees on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we have that at 10 o'clock on both of those days. Also, as far as economic information, Fed speak further throughout the week. We get on Monday at wholesale trade coming out at 10 o'clock. We also get 10:30 the Dallas Fed manufacturing service. Other information coming out on Tuesday to be aware of. We get the Case-Shilling housing numbers coming out at 9 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. Some unusual options activity that occurred on Friday, courtesy of the trade exchange. Unusual call activity. We had Snap, Trox, Verizon, LYB, Ameren, a big mover on Friday, had unusual call activity. Earnings coming up on the week ahead for Ameren. RF, Regions Financial, Electronic Arts had unusual call activity. Billy, BILI, unusual call activity. Yandex and ARLO all coming in with unusual call activity on Friday. As far as some put activity, we had unusual put activity in TRIP and US Steel, letter X. Some breaking news over the weekend. Roche nears $5 billion deal to buy Spark. ONCE is the symbol there. This from Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg. So this news hit over the weekend, a $5 billion deal in the biotech sector. So that should heat up the biotechs, the XBI and the IBB. This news came out on Saturday. Some top insider purchases that hit the tape on Friday, courtesy of the trade exchange IVZ, IFF, INVA, GASS, all with some insider purchases by directors there, courtesy of the trade exchange. Some news that broke over the weekend. We did get the Buffett annual letter that came out. Berkshire Hathaway released earnings over the weekend, and Warren Buffett will be on CNBC Monday, the 25th of February, starting at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. So Warren Buffett will be interviewed on CNBC this coming Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. Over the weekend, we do have Bitcoin making a move, finally over that 4,000 level on Bitcoin. So this is a daily chart provided by TradingView.com. We are breaking above the 4,000 level for the first time in a long time on Bitcoin. So keep your eye on those crypto currency stocks come Monday. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the best stocks that for the week that passed. We'll start out with Yeti was up over almost 12% for the week. YETY. WATT had a very good week, up almost 24% on the week on Watt. We also had Boom making a nice move up 43% for the week. PYX in the cannabis space was up over 10% for the week. NEM, a gold name, up 10% for the week. JNUG had a very nice week, up 14% for the week. AU, another gold stock, up 9% for the week. AG also climbing this week, up almost 9% for the week. FCX, Freeport McMoran, moving up almost 9% for the week. CENX, up for the week, up 9% for the week. Alcoa having a good week, up 7% for the week. IMDZ, which was acquired by Merck, up over 300% for the week there on IMDZ. Congrats to those IMDZ holders. MOMO, a China name, climbing this week, up 6%. JD had a good week, another China name. Walmart owns a big percentage of JD.com, up 6.66% for JD.com. Zillow Group, they moved their CEOs around. They had earnings. This stock climbing 23% for the week. CSIQ in the solar space moving up over 15% for the week. FSLR quietly moving up 5% for the week on First Solar. VSLR, a solar name that we talked about in our stocks to watch videos the past week, was up 9% for the week. JKS, a China name, having a nice big move here, up 27% for the week. VYGR, collaboration with AbbVie, so this stock moving up 23% for the week. SQM was up 8%. They're in a chemical space, lithium battery company. ALB also moving up this week in the chemical space. They supply lithium for lithium batteries, up over 10% for the week. LTHM, which is also a lithium battery play as far as electric cars and vehicles, up almost 10% on the week. Garmin released earnings this past week. Stock moved up 16% for the week. Roku had unbelievable Friday that passed. The stock for the week was up 26%. That mostly coming on Friday and Thursday. After they released earnings for Roku. TTD, a big move up after their earnings, up 29% for the week. Wayfair caught a lot of shorts here, up 25% for the week after they released earnings. HYRE climbing this week, up 17% for the week on HYRE. INSY, which is a component of the MJ, the marijuana cannabis ETF, up 29% for the week on INSY. AMRN, this stock moving up strongly on that unusual call activity. Also, rumors that Novartis was interested in it on AMRN. So this one moving up almost 15% on the week. ACHV, phase 1, phase 2 data released for smoking cessation. This moved that stock up almost 90% on the week. ZSAN, they had positive migraine results for ZSAN. This stock climbed 106% for the week. ABIO also moving up this past week, up 15% on this one. They reached an agreement with the FDA in their phase 3 trial for ABIO, moving that stock up 15% for the week. Some of your worst stocks for the week that passed. We start out with STMP. Stock was down 58% for the week after their earnings release, and closing their relationship with the United States Post Office. So STMP down 58% for the week. KHC, a big holding by Warren Buffett. Once again, Warren Buffett will be on CNBC at 6 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday on CNBC. This stock dropped 26% after their earnings release. They're also being investigated by the SEC, and they also lowered their guidance going forward and cut their dividend on KHC, Kraft Heinz. So multiple down moves here on KHC. CVS moving down after their earnings release, down almost 9% for the week, which brought down WBA. That stock was down over 2% for the week. We had BEAT, B-E-A-T, taking a hit this week, down 13% for the week. FDP suspended their dividend. They announced corrected fourth quarter 2018 results also in Fresh Del Monte. So this one dropped 20% for the week. EA, even though they have their free game out, Apex Legend did not help this stock. This stock dropped 9% for the week. The other video gaming stocks also moving down further this week. We had TTWO, Take-Two Interactive, down almost 7% for the week. ATVI closing out the week down almost 9% on the week on Activation Blizzard. GLUU in that gaming space also down about 6% for the week. DPZ, Domino's Pizza, dropped after their earnings, down 9%. LUV, another Buffett holding, down almost 8%. An airline was down almost 8% on the week. Wix, this stock, after it announced earnings, stock dropped close to 7% for the week. Sedge, an Israeli solar stock, dropped about 6.5% for the week. DBX released their earnings, did not help the stock. The stock dropped 9% for the week. ICPT met only one of its primary endpoints in phase 3, so ICPT dropped 16% for the week on ICPT. SNNA, they're doing an offering. This stock dropped 14% on that name. KPTI, their briefing documents came out negative on KPTI. The FDA briefing documents, this stock dropped 43% for the week. ADIL announced Pricing on its offering for ADIL, stock dropped 11% for the week. TRIL also announced an offering, stock dropped 45% for the week. XNCR, FDA placed a clinical hold on its phase 1 trial for XNCR, stock down almost 10% for the week. And that's some of your worst stocks for the week. So some of your top things to watch out for the week ahead. U.S.-China trade deadline is March 1st, as they are still negotiating even on Sunday as I'm making this video. So U.S.-China negotiations will meet in Washington the sixth straight day of talks as they get closer to that March 1st deadline imposed by President Trump. Fed Chair Powell will be testifying, will deliver his semi-annual monetary policy testimony on the economy before the Senate and House committees, that taking place on Tuesday and Wednesday, both times at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The advanced GDP coming out this week for the U.S. will be coming out on Thursday this week. Highlighted earnings for the week ahead. A lot of retailers will be reporting earnings this week coming up. And that's pretty much it. All right. So trade talks and a lot of things on our plate for the week ahead. Some clinical trial results to be aware of coming out for the week ahead, courtesy of Benzinga. ATNM, their phase 3 data is due out on today, actually, February 24th. AIMT, their data is due out on February 24th. ORTX will present phase 1-2 data Sunday, February 24th. SRPT, they will be announcing its release of data for phase 1-2, February 27th. HTBX is scheduled to present interim phase 2 data on February 28th. So that's some of the upcoming clinical results courtesy of Benzinga. So we'll close out this video. Just take a quick look at the weekly chart of the S&P 500. We bounced off the 200 SMA here. We've been up about 9 weeks straight in a row since the Christmas, I guess we could call it the Christmas massacre in the month of December. But we've recovered quite a bit here as we are looming just below that 2,800 round number area. So a lot of folks are going to be watching that. As I said, we have trade talks looming over the market. So for your week ahead, I hope you're more ready for your week ahead than you were before. This is Mike from Zozo Stock Watch. I'll be coming out with another video on stocks to watch later in the